time, and I know you got a little bit of time yet before your fight. So, I guess first thing I'm gonna ask is like, how are you kind of preparing,
for the
mentally just today? 'Cause, sorry, you weren't initially going to be the kind of the main. That was kind of sprung up yesterday. So,
just pretty much like when they texted me and said, "Do you want to be on the card?" Like straight away, I was like, "Yeah," because I just take any opportunity I get to fight. But yeah, I just train like as hard as I can all the time. Like I always train hard like all year round, so I'm prepared for like anything that comes up. So when they text me for this, I was just like, "Yeah, I'll take it straight away." And yeah, like training's just always super hard anyway. I always train with such good people, so like I always feel prepared for training. I knew I was going to be like on the main card because I knew it was like a title, but I didn't know I'd be like the top like main card until obviously like yesterday, because of like all the pullouts and stuff like that or whatever happened. So that's a bit of extra pressure now, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good fight. I don't really know much about the girl I'm fighting, but like I've seen a couple of her fights and she looks like super super tough, super aggressive. So I think it'll be a good fight. Yeah.
Is that something you'd kind of normally do? Would you just, when it comes to an opponent, would you kind of just, do you prefer to be not necessarily surprised, but just kind of just let it happen, or would you kind of prefer to get into details?
Yeah, I kind of like look them up and stuff like that. I do a bit of study, like I just like to know kind of what their game is, just to like before I used to not do that just because I didn't really take it like jiu-jitsu itself that serious, but now I think like getting into, if you want to like kind of get into the higher levels, I think it's kind of good to just look at the person's game, what they're doing, just to prepare yourself. Some people don't like doing it though because it kind of like scares them off and stuff like that, and it's not really like, it kind of makes them nervous to see like, oh, that person's really good at wrestling, so it might like freak them out. But me, it just prepares me even more, and I can like work my game like around what they do and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm a bit of a nerd. I just study everyone's jiu-jitsu like.
That's good. I think jiu-jitsu is full of nerds, really. There's a lot of intelligent people who love to choke each other. So you had mentioned briefly about like taking things a bit more seriously. Was there anything in particular that kind of spurred your motivation to be more serious about jiu-jitsu?
Like I think when I left school, because I left school, like I'm still pretty young. I left school maybe like I finished over a year ago, nearly 2 years ago, and after that, like I kind of felt like everyone was like going off to like college and doing loads of like crazy stuff, and I am in college now, but the main goal for me is jiu-jitsu. I was just kind of after school, I was like, there's nothing I really enjoy like other than jiu-jitsu. Like I just love going to training. I love competing. Like it was just then, as soon as I left school, I was like, yeah, I want to do it. I still, I'm in college and stuff like that. I'm studying full time, but like.
What do you study?
Event management, but it's good to have a backup in life, I think, and it gives me a lot of flexibility to train pretty much full time. Like I train pretty much all the time. I train as if I'm a full time athlete, and like the goal is just to keep competing and to work my way up and try and build a bigger name for myself and get on some of the biggest shows, and then just hopefully make a name for myself in the sport. Yeah.
What's your dream promotion to be on?
I'd love to be on Grapple Fest, Polaris, all of those, still waiting, but you have to start somewhere, so Grapple Kings is a great place to start there, and then just work my way up the ranks,
Do you find it difficult kind of like to enter into this combat sports world as a woman? Like, is it, I know things are probably, like, it's a male-dominated sport, so like, did you find that a difficult transition, or was like it pretty welcoming for you?
Well, it was kind of different for me because when I started, I was a kid, so it was kind of different. Like I started when I was 12, which was 8 years ago, so it's been like a long time. And when I started, like there was like in the kids class, I can't even remember, but like there were still girls there and stuff like that, so it was a lot different. And then I remember transitioning from like the kids class into like the adults class, and there wasn't many girls. There still isn't, but for me, it was never really a challenge. I think like I was always just such, like as a kid, I was such a sporty kid. I always I did rugby and stuff like that. I played Gaelic. I was always in sports. I was never like really, like I know for some girls it's definitely hard, going into these type of sports. But because I started it so young, I feel like it helped me a lot. And definitely like to this day, like I'm still like there's definitely not, and like a lot of girls, there's a lot more now than there was when I started. And I remember going into adult class, there was only one or two 2 other girls in the class, but there's definitely more now. There's probably like 6, 7, which is like way better. But yeah, it was never really hard for me because I started so young. But I know for other girls it's a challenge. Yeah.
Is there a particular aspect of kind of jiu-jitsu or MMA, grappling, anything that you think women would benefit from?
Like by doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the reason I started jiu-jitsu when I was 12 was because my mom wanted me to like have self-defense. She thought it was important, and 12-year-old me was like, okay, yeah, why not? Like, it just seems fun, so that's why I did it. But obviously, other than like self-defense like that, I think it's just great for your own confidence and like your own personal growth as a person. Like I feel like I've grown so much as a person. I've changed so much like over the years, and I feel like jiu-jitsu has always been there. It's only within maybe the last 2 years that I've started to take it more serious, but it's always been something in my life that I could always go back to, and it's something if I was having hard times in my life or something, I could go to training and I could just forget about all the struggles or stress or whatever outside of jiu-jitsu and in real life, I suppose. But I think anyone can benefit for it. You get super confident, you grow a lot, you get to do things like this, you get outside of your comfort zone. And it's good, it's just a great experience, for everyone. I think even if you don't want to take it seriously and just to do it as a hobby, it's great. Like honestly, best sport in the world. And I'm probably being biased, but I think it is.
No, I agree, and I think we can poll 10 out of 10 people here and they're all saying the same thing.
Yeah.
How has combat sports, how's that kind of changed your life?
Don't even know where to start, to be honest. It just, obviously I started as a kid, I just did it as a hobby. It was only until maybe like 2 years ago where I started to take it properly serious and actually do it full time. It's just it was always a part of my life, but it was never my whole life until maybe the last 2 years. But it's so good for you, I think mentally as well. You just don't think about anything else. Well, I don't anyway. This is kind of all I think about now, which is some people might think that's a bit, you should be thinking about something else. But I just love it so much that I don't think it's bad of how much I think it. It only benefits me, so I think it's good. But yeah, it's just changed my life completely. It's just made me such a more confident person, and I've just grown so much. And I think I've met such amazing people doing the sport. Honestly, friends for life. It's so good. I think everyone can benefit from it. And you don't have to start when you're 12 like me. You can start when you're 35, 50, whatever. It doesn't matter. Everyone can do it. You can take it serious. You can just have fun. Show up once a week. You can show up 10 times a week. Whatever you want. I just think it's very inclusive. Everyone can do it. And I think that's important. About it.
Just last question here. If you had to tell somebody who's maybe sitting on the fence, who's maybe interested, but they just, maybe they don't have the courage yet to take that step, what would you say to convince them to start training?
Just do it. As a cliche, just do it, because you'll only, as cliche as it is, you'll only regret the chances you don't take. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
I think just if you're thinking of it, you don't. I always think, picture yourself 80 years old, you're on your rocking chair in your front porch or your back garden, and it's you're looking back. What if I had started jiu-jitsu? Do you know what I mean? And it's just you don't want your life to be like that. So that's why I just take whatever chances I get, especially shows and stuff like that in jiu-jitsu. If someone's do you want to do this? Do you want to fight in that? Straight away, I'm yeah, I don't. And sometimes it's bad because there can be risks and stuff like that. But I'd rather take a risk doing something I love than regret it in the future. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
All right. Look here. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate
and then here, just what's your prediction for tonight?
Oh, I'm gonna win. Yeah.
Any particular maneuver? Or?
No, I just definitely gonna out-tech her. Anyway, I'm gonna get a good sub. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Well, look, I hope that happens.
Thank you. Me too.
I hope I get to talk to you again after this.
Thank
and we
you.
can,
Appreciate it.
Go over that again.
Cheers.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thanks so much.
I appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Here you go. Bye.